Hello everybody and welcome to DRL TV. I'm your host James Pandolf. Tonight it's the Talladega 200 for the Dynasty Racing League Truck Series. Joining me in the booth tonight is once again Ben Izenga. How are you doing tonight, Ben?
No, I'm not too bad, James. I'm excited to see this interesting race. It's going to be something else to watch. A lot of trucks here on this track tonight. They're going to be really close racing, and I'm excited to see how.
And you were going to be on the track. Unfortunately, we have so many Truck Series drivers that we had to ask a couple of the Grand National Series drivers to sit out. But based on last night's performance, and the practice that you got out of tonight, how do you feel about this truck and what do you expect out of these guys on track?
Yeah, they're going to have to be really careful how they're driving. It's really easy to get a little bit aggressive with these trucks. They're really forgiving in the draft with how you push and how you side draft stuff like that. So these guys are just going to have to make sure they take care of their equipment and be careful at the start of this race. Just keep everything together and be really gentle with everything, and I think it'll be.
Currently watching David Wright attempt his qualifying as he's running the high line against that wall for the first lap. Got to build up as much momentum as you can to try to set that fast second lap. David Wright was one of the drivers competing in last night's Grand National Series race, and he had himself a top 5 finish, working well with eventual winner Taylor Butcher Benjamin. As David's first lap is currently 10th, as he's working the back stretch, hugging that yellow line best he can, up to the middle, going down that long back straightaway.
And we talk about Talladega, everyone knows it's wide open the whole time. You're not letting off, you're not braking at all. So qualifying is a pretty interesting thing because you see a lot of different kind of methods of how to get the most time out of your truck that you can. You see David Wright kind of coming up to the middle of the track off of the corners here. As he comes down to the bottom of the tri-oval. And the bottom of that tri-oval can be really dangerous sometimes too in this draft because it's a little bit flatter and it's pretty bumpy. So these trucks can get really uncomfortable and they can start bouncing around. It can cause some trouble for these guys.
About a minute and a half left in qualifying. Let's see who else is on the track. We got a few guys that are going to want to start in the back of this one, and I don't blame them. Try to stay out of the trouble early and save their trucks till the end. You see Dakota Wilkins, he's going to be one of those drivers starting in the back of this one. He already has a win on the season, so he doesn't have to quite worry about picking up another win. He's more or less locked into the playoffs. Cody,
Yeah, it's a pretty popular strategy here to kind of hang out in the back, a little bit further back from the pack, but I'm a little bit hesitant about it tonight. I saw when I was running practice tonight that these trucks, they're really tough to keep behind a pack if you're not really up close to them. If you get about 3 or 4 car lengths back, you start to fall off pretty quickly, and it's hard to get it back after that. So these guys that are trying to hang out in the back have got to be really careful to not lose touch of that main pack, or they might be in jeopardy going lap down and ruining their whole race.
with 30 seconds left to qualifying, Mitchell Briggs making his 2020 Dynasty Racing League debut. Was on the pole. He just got bumped to now second by Adam Faree in the 29 truck. Looking forward to seeing what Mitchell Briggs can bring to the table. He missed out on last season due to work complications, but he's back and ready and hungry to pick up some wins. As qualifying wraps up, it looks like Adam Faree will be starting on the pole with this one with the 55.812 qualifying time. So
And 43 trucks in this field looks like about 25th back are choosing to start in the back half of the pack, posting pretty slow qualifying times. We see the top 23-ish, all within about a tenth of a second, really, really tight.
Let's see if we can pull in our pole sitter, Adam Faree. Hey, Adam, this is the broadcast booth. You have a copy?
Yeah, copy.
Well, at the last second, you steal that pole away from the 69 of Mitchell Briggs, working tonight with your teammate Terrence Ney. What are your expectations going in?
Restrictor plate track. You gotta just keep the truck clean and hope you're there at the end of the race. Hopefully, you can stay out front and out of trouble.
Absolutely. You have that rookie, Mr. Briggs, next to you. Do you expect him to? I'm sorry. What do you expect out of him? You think he's going to be a liability out there? You think he's going to be someone you can work with early on?
I hope he's not a liability. I don't know. I'm just gonna hold probably the inside line for a while and try not to wreck and let the race sort itself out some.
Ben, do you have anything for Adam before we get the pace truck rolling?
No, just good luck. Be safe out there, and hopefully we can talk to you at the end of this thing.
All right, guys. Have a good one.
As the pace car begins to roll off, let's take a look at our starting grid. As we mentioned, Adam Faree on the pole, Mitchell Briggs starting second. Third goes to the 9 of Jarrett Rogers. He picked up a win recently in the Dynasty Racing League Truck Series. Siderius Jackson, he's been strong as of late, just hasn't been able to put a full race together. He'll be starting fourth. Ronnie Outlaw rounds out the top 5 with Austin Collins alongside him. David Wright, we mentioned earlier, had a great run last night in the Grand National Series. He'll be starting 7th. Last week's winner, Josh Mayu, he'll be rounding out the top 10. David Lindahl and Daniel Holloway, 13th and 14th. Jared Gordon, 15th. Terrence Ney, Adam Faree's teammate, will be starting all the way back in 16th. It's got to make you wonder what the teammates' games plan is going to be, huh, Ben? One starting mid-pack, one's on the pole. Is one going to wait for the other? Is Adam going to be dropping back?
Yeah, there's a few different ways this can work out, because they can, I mean, with Adam starting this far up, he's probably advantageous to stay up there, especially since he's on the pole. First car in line is usually the safest, so especially when you've got a pretty experienced driver like Jarrett Rogers, who's been very fast as of late, starting P3. So Adam's probably going to want to stay up front. As far as Terrence Ney goes, he's back there in the 16th position, really far back, kind of dangerous. I don't know if I'd like to be there at this point in the race, because things start to get a little bit hectic when you're just starting off. Everyone's pretty close together. Once things start to get spread out, he could probably start to make his way to the front, meet up with his teammate.
And before we get going, I do want to clear the air, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Briggs and I are pretty good friends. I was just joking around with him. I know he is not a liability on the track. Looking forward to seeing what he can do in that 69 truck. As pace truck's ducking off, we're going to get ready to go green. The one thing about Talladega is the start-finish line is not in the center of the trioval. These guys got to go about halfway down the next straightaway into turn 1 before crossing that start-finish line.
Looks like Adam Faree's going to wait all until the green flag. So you got the green flag there to take it.
And I think that is the best thing to do when it comes to restricted plate racing, is wait till iRacing gives you that green, because if you were to hit the gas and nobody else expects it and you get too far out in front, by the time the pack catches you, they'll be able to pass you with how much more speed and momentum they're going to have.
Yeah, especially these trucks, they really lose a lot of speed when you don't have any help with you. So if you're going to get out that far, you're just going to get freight trained once they get.
As these guys make their way down the backstretch, so far so good. It looks like maybe 3 wide in the middle of the pack. Some guy in the high third line, not quite sure who that is in that black truck.
These guys are looking pretty patient on this first lap. The top line's starting to dissipate. Everyone's looking single. See Jarrett Rogers step out now. Still, everyone's looking pretty steady. We see a lot of trucks in the bottom lane, but 5 trucks making up that top lane right now, with a couple more.
As you see, Jarrett Rogers led that first lap. He's now going to duck in front of the 29 of Anna Free and protect that bottom line. Mitchell Briggs is the driver leading that top line with Sidarius Jackson right behind him. Sidarius Jackson giving him a solid push down the back straightaway. Mitchell should be able to clear that inside line. Oh, Sidarius Jackson with a bold move. He's going to duck down on Mitchell Briggs and have that inside line for himself.
I might have spoke too soon. This top lane's really starting to develop. It's looking pretty equal. So, and when you have about the same number of trucks on the top as the bottom, the top tends to roll a little bit better with that momentum off the center. So these guys in the bottom might be in trouble.
Mitchell Briggs to the point. He wants to stay on that high line though. That's the second time the guy behind him ducks below and Mitchell maintains that high line. I'm not sure if that's strategy or if Mitchell just doesn't feel comfortable on that low line. As you see, a couple drivers go to the apron. They're not liking what they're seeing. They're going to drop to the back. That's the 85 of Sidarius Jackson and the 88 of David Lindahl.
I think Mitchell Briggs might just be thinking what I'm thinking. It's when the top lane is built up like this, you want to stay up there, because if you're on the bottom, the top lane gets built up, you're going to get passed really fast. And it looks like the top's starting to fade back a little bit as they're going to surge forward down this front stretch.
Daniel Holloway leads that lap. 3 laps in, 3 different leaders at the line. David Wright now behind Mitchell Briggs on that high side, followed by the 11 of Scott Gaskill. Another driver going to the apron, dropping all the way back. That's the 9 of Jarrett Rogers.
Jarrett Rogers, one of those guys that got a lap led here early. He might just be thinking, I'll get my lap led, get my bonus point, fall back to the back, and stay safe for the rest.
On board with Dynasty Racing League rookie Anthony Titchener in the 87 truck. He's currently in the 8th position. As we ride on board, you can see just how these guys in front of him are running. You see a little bit wiggly out of everybody as the line kind of snakes around the straightaways. You'll see them snake more and more as these trucks loosen up. You can hear them not really full throttle either, kind of maybe half, 3/4 throttle.
And he's the 5th truck in that bottom lane, so he's not ever really going to be full throttle. He wants to stay a pretty safe distance off that truck in front of him, that Patrick Cowgill in 31. He just wants to stay a safe distance off. He wants to keep right up to him, but not be touching him at all, because it's not really safe to touch that deep in line.
Absolutely, you can't really tell how close to the next truck in front of him that he is to their back bumper, and if you just hit them at the wrong time, you can send them spinning. As these guys still have a long way to go, 70 laps, no real need to be pushing anybody unless you're the front 2 drivers in line.
We already see this front pack start to dissipate. Guys are pulling to the bottom and dropping out, as we see about 23 trucks in this front pack.
The 81 dropping back, he's high line, 3 wide as they enter turn 1. It looks like lap traffic is coming up fast. That's I believe the 16 of Hayden Askey entering turn 3. These guys are going to have to make a play and work themselves around that lap truck.
So far, I like what I'm seeing out of Mitchell Briggs. He's working these top and these bottom lanes really well, keeping his truck right up. As the pack catches up to Dynasty, he's going to go to the top side. And you can see the speed difference between these trucks in the pack and the trucks by themselves.
Yeah, the trucks by themselves, they can go about 170, 175, possibly top speed by themselves. So the guys in the pack go about 185. As you see, the 42 and the 26 go from the high line to the low line. Not really sure what line they want as they finally decide on the low line. Tennessee following up. Mitchell Briggs moves out to the high line now in front of the 9 of Jarrett Rogers. Tennessee kind of stuck in the middle.
Yeah, he moved up there and looked like he might have wanted to go back down, and the hole was closed already. David Wright leading the bottom side with Daniel Holloway glued to his.
Outside line gaining momentum. Mitchell Briggs pushing Tennessee. Robbie Armstrong, that third truck in line on the high side. Ooh, a little wiggle there. As it looks like Armstrong and Springer might be trying to make it 3 wide.
They're going to tuck back and lock Holloway to the top now. He might have just gotten a little bit hot, had to jump. Terrence Nay's going to pick him.
Yeah, that's one thing these guys will have to keep an eye on is those water and oil temperatures. I don't believe anybody had that issue last night in the Grand National Series race.
Yeah, these trucks also respond a little bit differently. They're a little bit easier to suck up than the Grand National cars are. They're easier to get up to the front guy's bumper. Oh, really big wiggle from Daniel Holloway. Or, sorry, that's Robbie. So these trucks might get hotter a little bit faster, or they might stay colder a little bit faster, depending on how far you are away from the. We say David Wright, just glued to the back bumper of Daniel Holloway. So when you're that close tucked up behind someone, there's not a lot of air getting to the front grill of your car, so you're not going to stay. And your water temp and your oil temp are really going to heat up fast. Water's one thing you can duck out for 2 or 3 seconds and it'll cool right back down. Oil needs a little bit more attention, so I noticed these trucks to both heat up about the same time. The Grand National cars, the oil doesn't nearly heat up the same amount as water. So these guys are going to make sure that they keep both their temps cool in this race, make sure their truck doesn't have any issues.
Leading that high line is Tennessee. He started all the way back in 16th. Teammate of the pole sitter, Adam Ferry, who's in about 12th, so they basically did like a switcheroo.
Adam Ferry riding in the top lane.
Almost making contact with David Wright and the 32 of Tennessee. So they're trying to use that side draft to his advantage and pull that high line forward as Daniel Holloway, the sole truck, in the lead. I keep seeing Robbie Armstrong move to the high third line. I'm not sure if he's trying to make a move or if he's just getting air to the front of his truck.
Yeah, one thing for sure, it's killing that top lane to just have those 2 trucks and then 2 more. They're really falling back. Terrence and A back to decide 3rd place now.
Yeah, when they do that, that's killing the momentum, like you said. As it looks like they're dropping back now. Ronnie Outlaw is now the 3rd truck in line behind Mitchell Briggs. And then pole sitter Adam Freeze 4th in line.
I'm starting to get a little bit concerned about David Wright. He's been beaten on that back bumper at Daniel Holloway for a really long time, and I might be a little concerned about his
On board with the 42 of David Wright as they go through the tri-oval. See that outside line gaining the momentum. It looks like the 32 Sine will lead that lap. I'd like to take a moment and recognize the next broadcast on DRL TV will be the Dynasty Racing League Grand National Series Monster Mile 175 at Dover International Speedway. That is Monday, May 4th at 9 p.m. Eastern Time for 175 laps. Be sure to tune in for what will be an exciting race on the concrete surface. And the next race for the Dynasty Racing League Truck Series will be the Dover 150. That's Tuesday, May 5th at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. So these guys are starting to really get wiggly as these tires wear and the back end of the trucks get lighter as the fuel is consumed.
Yeah, and it really looks like the top side starting to die out a little bit. We saw the 69 truck come down to the bottom. He's been kind of picking and choosing correctly tonight. He's been up front in both lanes pretty much the entire run so far, and now he's 6th in line on the bottom. So I think that might be a bit of an indication that the top side might be starting to struggle.
These guys have been very impressive so far to this point. Scott Gaskill and Patrick Cowgill make up the 3rd and 4th trucks on that inside line. As the outside line, Terrence Sine and Ronnie Outlaw push to the front. Sine might have a nose advantage as they head down into turn 1.
Adam Free slowly making his way back to the front, and he's the 3rd truck in line on the...
Yeah, it's Ronnie Outlaw that separates the teammates, Sine and Free. As Sine moves to the inside line, that kind of stacks up the inside line. They all had to do a little check up there.
All the way to the outside now. Ronnie Outlaw is going to split him 3 wide.
And Free
it looks
did
like
not
Ronnie
go
Outlaw
with
is going to get stuck out there.
Oh, maybe not. Armstrong, I thought he was going to go with him, but he's going to stick to the middle line with Free. As you see, Ronnie Outlaws, he's going to be falling back as David Wright did a bold move, jumping in front of the 26 of Daniel Holloway to lead that outside line. Oh, that might have been contact there with the 21 of Richard Springer and the 51 of Ronnie Outlaw. So Ronnie Outlaw is able to find himself a hole, and he's now tucked in behind the 01 of Adam Breeden.
These guys sorting themselves out the front of this pack's kind of getting a little bit screwed up. We see a pretty big gap on the bottom side from the 32 to the 11. So that's going to kill some momentum down there and allow the top side to get back.
As we are now on our 20th lap. Made mention of some drivers that pulled out and went to the back. Sidarius Jackson, he's currently 22nd with his teammate David Lindahl right behind him. They're just cruising right behind the lead pack. If anything were to happen, they should have enough spacing to be able to avoid it.
We see another pack back here, about 26th place back. They're too wide. They've been riding about 8 to 10 seconds back from the leaders for a while. We have looks like Craig Meyer at the front of the.
Yeah, Craig Meyer in the 25, Doug Lockrow in the 37.
Teammates side by side leading this back pack.
I'm kind of surprised that this backpack doesn't single file out and try to cut as much time as they can and catch that lead pack. These guys are losing a lot of time.
Yeah, and I looked back here a few laps ago. They were all side by side, but I think they might have gotten a little bit impatient as this race has gone green. They're all looking for their spots now. You see teammates side by side, and then two more teammates side by side with Dakota Wilkins and Jared.
Going back up to the front, David Wright continues to lead Daniel Holloway on that inside line. And posted Adam Free is now the leader of that outside line in the 29 truck. Robbie Armstrong right behind him.
Robbie Armstrong and Richard Springer, they've just kind of been riding on this outside lane. They've made their way slowly but surely to the front, along with Adam Breeden behind them in the 01 truck.
Oh, wiggle there. Free and Armstrong had a little bit of a moment, but they're able to gather back up. I think in about 10 to 15 laps, these guys will begin pitting under green and get the trucks full of fuel, and they should be able to make it to the end. It's about 40 laps on a tank of fuel.
Yeah, we saw last night's Grand National race go green all the way to the end. We'll see if that might happen here tonight. These guys look pretty content, pretty safe so far.
Yeah, that was a fantastic race. Did not plan on it to be a fuel mileage race, but that's what it was. Some guys were starting to sputter on the final lap coming around the tri-oval. Myself, I was one of them who started to sputter around the pit road entrance and was able to come home with a 4th place finish.
I was not so fortunate, 19th. The two-stop did not work out. see 3 wide further back in this pack. Ronnie Outlaw, Adam Breed,
Yeah,
87 truck on the bottom.
Adam Breed in that 01, as it looks like the 3 and 21 are going to go to the high side and try to help the 01 out.
Those 3 trucks, the 3, 21, and 01 have kind of all been together this whole run, so they might be pretty happy with staying together as Richard Springer goes all the way down to the bottom of the track. Robbie Armstrong tucking in behind.
As you can tell, these guys are starting to single file out. There's not really much of a high line anymore. Maybe these guys are starting to prepare for the green flag pit stops that we were just mentioning. See Dustin Jones, one of those drivers, still on that high line. He's kind of by himself. He's not really close enough to the 51, and the 7 of Dustin Eicher's not really close to him to give him any help. As it looks like pit stops are underway, the 35 Jim Westfield, 38 Ron Sherline, and the 02 Josh May are down in completing their 4-tire pit stop. As the leaders pit, here comes everybody. Got to bring it down from 185 to 55.
That round looked pretty clean. All these guys managing to get down to speed without any contact.
Yeah, the 21 of Richard Springer, he had trouble in last night's Grand National Series race. Ended up spinning out when he ended pits, but he did a good job here in the truck race. He's down and away.
The remainder of the lead pack all looking pretty much single file, getting ready to come down to pit road this time. Dustin Jones, the only really truck on the outside. He looks to actually be making some progress. Ronnie Outlaw now jumping up behind him.
And the 41 of Jason Schaefer, haven't made a lot of mention of him. Rookie in
Oh, the
Dynasty
66 spinner.
That's Dominic Mangione, if we can pick him up. He's down in pits. It's going to be a little slow. He's probably going to lose the pack that he was in. It's going to be unfortunate. Tanner coming down to pit.
Trucks come down.
With his teammate Adam Free. Sine, he was going pretty fast. I'm not sure if he was able to get it down to 55 or not.
We saw his front tires lock up a little bit. That happened a few times last night in our Grand National Series race. It gets really tough to control that car. And it gets really tough to get it slowed down enough when your front tires are locked up. So we have a caution track.
Caution is out, the first caution of the evening.
Looks like it was the 37 truck. Doug Lockrow.
Let's see.
Jeremy Hebel had a bit of a run. Tried to go to the top, and Lockrow just kind of got turned.
Not quite sure if I'm going to be able to bring it to you guys. iRacing having a little bit of an issue with this many drivers on the track.
Relatively clean wreck for this track. Only 2 trucks getting involved, and it was the initial 2 that had contact, Doug Lockrow and Jeremy. Everyone else escaping it with no contact at all. So.
We'll try to bring it to you here on board with the 1 of Jeremy Hebel. As you see, the screen is blacking out. That's iRacing having connection issues. We'll see if we'll be able to see what happened as they are in turn 3. Yeah, it looks like I'm not going to be able to bring it to you, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry about that. As we
This is a bit of a problem for a few of these guys that pitted early, though. Saw those first, that was the first three trucks, the 02, the 35, and the 38, all go down pit road. They're all trapped a lap. We have the top 34 on the lead lap, which leaves 7 trucks or 8 trucks a lap down now.
As you see the one of Jeremy Hebel in pit road, let's see if we can take a closer look at the damage he has sustained. You see quite a bit of damage to the front of his truck. As the 85 is side Jackson, he's coming down pit road. Now, I'm not 100% sure on the calculations, Ben, but with going to be 42, 43 laps to go, do you think these guys will have enough fuel to make it to the end?
That's going to be pretty tight. I think these trucks can probably make about 38 laps or so in the of course, it's worse for the leaders. They're always wide open. When you're a few cars back in the draft, you can hang at about 3/4 throttle and save a lot more fuel. So the leaders and the guys second or third in line are going to have a lot more trouble than the guys further back in the pack. You see just about everyone come down pit road.
Yeah, great green flag run there for these guys. $30 laps under green.
Looks like almost everyone who ended up getting stuck a lap down is going to be able to get their lap back. So we have, after these guys get their wave rounds, we're just going to have 3 trucks. David Wright, one of them. He was doing pretty well early in this race.
Current scoring is telling us Andrew York is the leader in that 18 truck. See if anyone else decides to pit. Looks like the 18 will. Looks like he wanted that bonus point for leading a lap, and he's coming down pit lane.
He might have actually just missed his box because I saw that all the wave around trucks right ahead of him. See a few more trucks come down for the second time. That's kind of a strategy they can use if they want to restart in the back of the pack. Just get on the field or get on pit road a second time and let everyone kind of pass you and then come. You can also find yourself a little bit more fuel because although it's not a lot, that one caution lap does use a little bit of fuel, and that could be anything these guys need at the end of this.
Looks like Dustin Jones will be the race leader when we get back racing.
Dustin Jones was one of the last guys who looked like he was thought about pitting. He kind of waited for everyone else to go down, and that's an interesting move because we see a lot of issues on green flag pit stops on entry. See a lot of guys kind of speed, a lot of guys get into each other when they start to get a little bit squirrely when they're on their brakes. So we didn't see a whole lot of that in this race, but we absolutely saw some issues on track as opposed to on pit road that ended up bringing out a caution to the advantage of Dustin.
Let's see if we can pull in a driver for an interview. Hey, David Lindahl, this is the broadcast booth. You have a copy?
Yes, I do.
Well, sir, as we're about to go green, so we'll make this quick. You're currently sitting in the third position, about halfway remaining in this race. Your teammate, Cyrus Jackson, he has some trouble in the pit lane, and he'll be starting way in the back of the pack. We saw you guys drop to the back earlier in this run, but now that we're halfway complete, is your strategy going to be to drop to the back and meet up with him, or are you going to try to maintain a top 5 and hope that Cyrus Jackson can come to you?
It depends on how this restart goes. If things get crazy up here, I will drop to the back until about 10 laps to go. But if things stay relatively calm, I'll ride here.
And a pretty good green flag run by all these drivers, making about 30 laps under green. We're going to have about 41 laps to go when we go back racing. Any shout outs you'd like to give before we let you go?
Not right now. I'll give my shout outs after the race if I get that opportunity.
Alrighty, man. Good luck to you, and hopefully we'll talk to you at the end.
Sounds good. Thank you.
As the pace truck leads him through turns 3 and 4, Dustin Jones will lead him to the line. Adam Purcell to his outside. Row 2 makes up Dave Lindahl and Ronnie Outlaw, and row number 3 is Jason Schaefer in the 41 and Austin Collins in the 98 truck.
We see basically this field inverted. All these guys that are up here in the top 10, top 15 haven't really been here yet. So we'll see how they're able to handle. We saw them racing pretty hard in the back, so I have no doubt that they'll be able to handle themselves and keep everything safe. Pace cars off. Dustin Jones leading the field. He's going to go a little bit before the green flag.
Yeah, we'll see if this hurts him at all. You see that big gap between him and his next car in line on the inside, Dave Lindahl, as Purcell actually ducks in behind him. Maybe that was strategized.
Something that helps. Oh, no. There it goes. Purcell out. Yep. Something that helps Dustin Jones there is that he had a few guys that were able to time it a little bit better on the top and the bottom. The guys that were on the top kind of filed in line and were able to build a little bit of a cushion between Dustin Jones and anyone who might build up a bit of a run. See a lot of guys jumping to the top now.
And Ronnie Outlaw going to take a 3 wide for the lead. We'll see how that plays out, as it looks like Anthony Thatcher is going to not go with the 58, but move down to the inside behind the 88. That's going to leave the 51 stranded, and the 58, he's going to leave that outside line as 51 ducks in behind him. I was going to say that restart really stranded everybody out, but that outside line quickly formed by the time they got out of turn number 4.
Yeah, it spread everyone out for a second, and then once they got onto the backstretch, they kind of started to build up runs through 3 and 4. They started to make things happen, and then down the front stretch, everything got kind of hectic again. So we see Jarrett Rogers and Austin Collins stuck into the bottom, falling back to the back.
Yeah, teammates didn't like what they were seeing. They're going to drop to the back. Another pair of teammates, Brent Kincott in the 4 and Rod Fosner on the 10, they're working together. They were in that second pack that is just hanging out in the mid-30 positions. They're now in the top 10.
We see this front pack a little bit smaller than it was before, about 20 cars, and then it starts to get a little bit spread out. Starting with Dakota Wilkins back there. Sidarius Jackson falling out too. And everyone back here is just kind of hanging out, pretty spread out, just staying safe, maybe waiting for something to happen up front.
As the 88 of Lindahl, he's going to lead that high line. You're on the outlaw right behind him.
Oh, someone got turned.
We
Check
see
who that is.
a lot of
It's like the
damage
41
to the
car.
41. He's falling off the pace, but we're staying green as he's able to keep it straight. See a lot of damage to that right rear of his machine.
Looks like he got a pretty good push from Patrick Cowgill in the 31 truck. He just wasn't ready for it. Got him turned into the wall, but he kept plenty of right side damage for him. That's going to kill his. Another name I'd like to point out, Steven Sims climbing his way into the top 10 now. He did a great job last night in the Grand National Series race, finishing.
Yeah, second place finish for him. He was working with me a lot at the end of that race. Fantastic to see him be able to get a top 2 finish out of last night's event.
I saw him a little bit when I was in the practice session. He's a pretty steady pusher and a pretty good bump grabber, so we'll see if he's able to make something happen here late in this race.
As you see the 58 of Adam Purcell and Dustin Jones able to clear that high line. They're getting a solid push from that 87 of Anthony Thatcher. The 4 of Brent Kincott right behind them. That is actually 3 teammates, Kincott, Fosner Motorsports, Brent Kincott, Rod Fosner, and Steven Sims, those 3 trucks.
Adam Purcell down to the bottom now in front of Dustin Jones.
As the 41 of Jason Schaefer has come down to pit to repair that damage. As Lindahl, with help from Ronnie Outlaw, he's able to clear that inside line, and he moves down in front of the 58 of Adam Purcell to take that lead.
And again, we see a little smaller pack starting to form about 10 seconds back from, looks like about 28th position back. Starting with Jim Westerfield. A couple lap cars involved there too.
Going back up to the front, neck and neck for the lead. Oh, 3 wide now, and there's a wreck. Several trucks involved. This is the big one. Up and over is the 32 of Terrence Sinay. That was just a 3 wide gone bad. See if we can bring a replay of that one.
Yeah, it looks like 29 trucks sticking his nose in there, and 31 wasn't sure he was there, and then kind of just came down. Taking out multiple trucks. Looks like the only one in the lead pack that really stayed alive was David Lindahl, our lead. That's a big wreck.
See if you can see that one more time. Coming off of the turn 2, you can see 29, he begins his move to the inside. Then just Patrick Cowgill makes contact and those two collide. As pit stops are underway for our leaders.
This is a great example of these guys trying to ride in the back of the pack to avoid the wrecks, because we saw that wreck start right at the front of the pack, and I saw Sidarius Jackson, one name in particular. He was one of the last cars in the pack, and he basically stopped on the track and let everything calm down, and then not a scratch on his truck.
Let's see if we can see that from his angle on board with the 85 of Sidarius Jackson. You can see that pack up in front of him. I might not be able to bring that image to you as iRacing kicked out while the wreck was happening. But you can see him as everyone's to the inside of his machine. See the mayhem behind him. It's very unfortunate iRacing wouldn't be able to show that image.
Jared Gordon scored as the leader right now. It looks like he just might be looking to get a lap led and then go ahead. We had just about every other truck in the field pit, and that should make him to the end of this race.
Yeah, unless multiple green-white checkers happen, I think these guys will be good on the fuel.
We're going to go green with about 30 laps to.
Brent Kincott scored in the second position. Now, I noticed on the incident that the 21 and him made contact, but it doesn't look like he has a whole lot of damage.
Yeah, his truck looks pretty well clean. You see Jared Gordon get up. He's going to pass the lead off to this Ford truck. Yeah, it looks to me like Brent Kincott kind of glitched through that.
Yeah, let's see if we can pull him in and hear from his point of view what happened. Hey Brent, this is the broadcast booth. You have a copy?
Gotcha, buddy.
Well, we saw the replay of the incident, and it looked like the 21 and you had made contact, but looking at your truck, it looks relatively unscathed. Can you walk us through what happened?
Yeah, I got no damage. Pit lane said nothing, so we're good on that. With what happened, I just basically had to hit the brakes. I see everyone scattering, and I just kept on the brakes, and I see people going left, right across my screen. It was insane.
Hopefully that good luck will continue for the rest of this race, as you're currently our race leader.
Hopefully. We started in the back. My teammates both got involved in that one, but it doesn't seem to have engine damage, so hopefully they get back up here and help me out, but we'll see. I'm trying to stay out front as much as possible now.
Absolutely, it's go time. Ben, do you have anything for Brent before we let him go?
No, just keep it safe out there, and hopefully we can talk to you later.
You got it, buddy.
Alrighty, Brent. Good luck out there. We're gonna put you back down in the
Thanks, pal.
Discord. That was our race leader, Brent Kincott. Starting alongside him will be the 26 of Daniel Holloway.
And now that we saw a pretty sizable amount of our lead pack get taken out by that, I wonder if we'll see that second pack start to jump up to the front and make some moves in the top 10, top 15. Some of the guys that we haven't really talked about yet.
Pace truck should be given the 1-to-go signal here. It looks like Ben Kincott will be electing the inside line. Behind him is Dynasty Racing League debuter Anthony Thickner. Anthony Thickner making an impressive debut, I might say, on Talladega. Hopefully he'll be able to have a quality finish. David Lindahl to the outside of him. Row number 3 is Marvin Wingfield in 19 and Robbie Armstrong in the 3.
Marvin Wingfield up here, 5th place, one of the guys that we haven't really seen up here in the top 10, top 15 so far. Another one, David Wellborn, 9th now.
Yeah, Wingfield started all the way back in the 38th position. Wellborn Jr. started in 34th. I think I counted 12 trucks involved in that wreck. Don't quote me on that one, but I think around 12 trucks involved.
Looking further back in the pack right now, it looks like maybe the 41 truck is the first truck with damage. Not sure where he's restarting. Oh, he's 5 laps down. We've got a lot of wrecked trucks in here. Looks like somehow we've got a bunch of perfectly fine trucks behind a bunch of wrecked trucks, so I'm not sure how they figured that one out, but we'll be restarting it very interestingly. This pace car's off now. Field in the hands of Brett Kingcock.
And the green flag is out. Ben Kincott with a great restart. We'll see what happens here as the 26 is out by himself. Looks like 87 is going to stay with him. 26 drops, and now he's 3rd in line on that inside.
And looks like pretty much the whole field's going to single file out here. You see some of those damaged trucks in the back start to go double file, and now we see David Wellborn Jr., the O2 truck, start to step out. Josh Mayu. Jim Westerfield also with them.
And Lindahl going to jump in front of the O2, and he wants control of that outside line.
These guys are making this move fast. They're hunting down Brent Kingcock. And it seems to me this week that 3 or 4 trucks is kind of what you need. That's the magic number to make that top line. They've got 4 out there right now. And they're making this move really well.
the 88, he's making a charge for the front. Josh Mayu giving him a solid push as they enter turn number 1.
Brenton Kincott still going to nose him out that time by 100. And other than these 4 guys on top, we see pretty much the rest of the field single file.
As the caution is out, is that correct?
No.
ATVO must be glitching because it's showing yellow.
We got Lindahl with the lead now, and they're pushing the 02 to the middle. Oh, David Wellborn Jr. now pushed the top. They're going to hang him.
Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. Looks like I got my ATVO fixed. Don't know why it was displaying a yellow.
The front of this field's looking pretty scattered right. David Wellborn Jr. he's able to hop back.
As Scott Gaskill is now stuck on the outside. Next in line to help him would be David Wellborn Jr. Brent Kincott going to move to that high line and jump in second in line.
And I'm starting to see a couple of these drivers drive these cars pretty.
I see that blue and yellow 45, Steven Sims, Brent Kincott's teammate. He's starting to make a charge back up to the front. Try to help out his teammate.
He's got Rod Fosnaugh right behind him, another one of their teammates. Brent Kincott doing a great job making that top line, pushing the 11 truck. That's Scott Gaskill.
Yeah, I was talking to Ben Kincott earlier this week. He has multiple wins during the official races in the truck, so he's well practiced, and he was looking forward to this race. So far, he's proven why he won multiple times. He's doing a great job inside the top 4 position, pushing Scott Gaskill all the way to the lead. He and the 11 might be able to clear the 02. Not so fast. Jim Westfield gives him a solid push. The 11 drops to in front of the 02, and now it's the 4 and the 96 on the outside.
David Wellborn Jr. just a couple laps ago, he got pushed to the top side and pushed back, a few spots. And now he's doing a great job trying to push Brent Kincott to the lead here. Darius Jackson right behind him.
As they pass the lap car of the Dustin Eichert and the 7. He's staying on the apron. Great job by him.
Brent Kincott looking well clear of the bottom line through 1 and 2 that time.
Yeah, I was surprised. I was surprised he didn't drop down in front of the 11.
Seems like a couple of these guys look a little bit more comfortable on the top. And if they're able to get runs, there's no real reason in dropping. You see the top side start to dissipate a little bit. Steven Sims fell a little bit far off the back bumper of Sidarius.
Less than 25 laps to go. Brent Kincott leading that outside line as they pass the 58 of Adam Priscilla, put him another lap down. The outside line.
4 and the 96 at the bottom.
Yeah, I was saying the outside line's dissipating as those two move to the bottom. Now it's the 85 and the 88 left alone on that outside line. They are making that outside line work very well, those two drivers, teammates of Bad Luck Racing, Cyrus Jackson, Dave Lindahl. Marvin Wingfield has now caught him, and Steven Sims moving to the outside lane. They're going to try to make something happen in that outside.
In the 83 truck, he's behind Steven Sims. He's just kind of been riding in the outside lane, not really behind anyone, just kind of in the back of this, hanging out in the outside.
3 wide for the
Brent
lead.
Kencott.
Yeah, Brent Kencott tried to block the 85's momentum. Cyrus Jackson wasn't having any of it. He and the 88 are going to go around the 4 and take that lead from him.
And it
Still
looks
3
like
wide.
Steven Sims might be looking to make this middle lane work.
Yeah, that's his
He's looking to
teammate,
push his
Brent
teammate.
Kencott, right in front of him. This is getting pretty exciting for the front 10 drivers.
We saw Sims take a little while to get up to Brent Kencott. These trucks, they have really big spoilers, so when you're in the middle of 3 wide like that, there's a lot of turbulence and it can really push on that spoiler and make it pretty hard to suck up to the guy in front of you.
It looks like the 10 to 5 now is laying off a little bit, try to create a gap on that bottom line for his teammates Steven Sims and Brent Kencott to drop in. But with Marvin Wingfield behind the 45, that's just not going to happen. Dustin Jones on the high line, going another lap down.
That top line, it's weak, but it looks like it's surging forward down this back.
We now have 20 laps to go in the Dynasty Racing League Truck Series Talladega 200. Brent Kencott, your leader, Steven Sims in second. Leading that inside line is the 96 of David Wilborn Jr. Oh, wiggle there by the 45. He almost got down into the 96. That could have been trouble.
As we see most of this lead pack, again, just kind of single filing out a little bit. Really only 4 trucks. A 38 truck. Hanging out back there yet again.
Great push, Steven Sims pushing his teammate Brent Kencott to the front. Not sure if they're going to be able to clear the 96, however. Great racing for the lead. No one really has that advantage. As another lap car is coming up, they're staying on the high side, should be able to clear him. That's Cody Barber. He had a great finish last night in the Grand National Series race.
See the top side start to develop again. Rod Fosnaugh getting up there. 3 wide behind him. 87 truck in the middle.
King Kyle drops low in front of Wellborn. This has been some good racing tonight. Nothing really doing on that outside line.
Yeah, since the 4 truck of Brent Kingcott hopped down, they haven't really been able to catch much. As it looks like they got a little bit of a run down the backstretch there, but Rod Fosnaugh got to the bottom. Sorry, he just... And they lost a little bit of that through the middle of the...
Mayhew does move up though. This might be able to help that outside line. Fill that gap between the 19 and the 10. A little shuffling going on as Mayhew had to jump to the 3rd line. Looks like his teammates might be going with him. That might be part of his plan. Three wide back in 7th. Thaddeus Jackson and David Lindahl have regrouped.
We see the top side start to form up again. Steven Sims starting to make a pretty solid look to the outside of Brent King.
You see Wingfield have to pedal it. He was going to try to go to the outside with that 3 wide line that's forming, but he thought better of it. He's going to stay behind the 45. As the 96 of Wellborn jumps in front of Steven Sims.
Now the inside line is actually the one looking weak. There's only about 4 trucks down there that are close. Wellborn making a pretty good leapfrog pass around the 4 truck Brent Kingcott.
Take a look farther back. You see this single file snake led by the 8 of Ted Emmenize, excuse me. Cody Gasky, his teammate. This is 19th on back.
We've got about 8 trucks here. Looks like these guys are just looking for something to go bad up front.
Going back up to the front. Wellborn Jr. continues to lead.
And it looks like since the 4 truck Brent Kingcott hopped, Steven Sims just hadn't been able to get up to the front like they were able to when he was pushing Brent Kingcott. He's kind of been able to get up beside the leader, but nowhere really past.
Yeah, taking a look at the 45, you can see He does have some left front damage. I wonder if that's affecting him, and that's why he's not quite able to clear the 96.
Yeah, I see a little bit of that hood is bucked. And at this track, that's all you need for your truck to be a couple tenths slower than the guys beside you. As we see the backpack there starting to catch up to this leader. 5 seconds back from the leader now. So we approach 10 to go.
Yeah, they're all single filed out. They're doing the right thing to catch the pack as those guys are jockeying for position too wide. These guys are just staying single file. The 27 and the 8s, the only two really pushing. As we are now 10 to go.
The backpack gained about 3/4 of a second that. So if they're able to get back up to this pack and then get the draft off of this lead pack, once they get here, they might be able to just take it 3 wide and drive.
On board with the 8 of Ted Emmenizer. You see that pack right up in front of him. I think they'll be able to get there with 5 to go.
There's a lot of really dangerous looking shuffling going on in this lead pack right now. You see Marvin Wingfield on the top side of
Yeah, Wingfield looks like he's going to be shuffled out on that high line.
Steven Sims pushing David Wellborn Jr. on the bottom. Rod Fosnaugh leading the top lane with some right foot.
Yeah, King Cop Fosnaugh Motorsports looking pretty good. You got the 10, the 45, and the 4. 3 teammates all within the top 5. Numbers advantage. Don't fall asleep on that 87 of Anthony Thesinger though. Making his debut tonight. He's currently second leading that outside line. He might be able to win in his debut race.
He's making a pretty good move to the front right now. So he looks nearly clear. Rod Fosnaugh on the ball. And we've got a couple trucks looking to the top. That's the 35 Jim Westerfield. The O2 truck, Josh Mayu.
Oh, big wiggle there by the 96.
And this backpack has caught up to this front pack.
What do you think, Ben? You think we're going to go green all the way?
If these guys stayed too wide, I would say maybe, but when we're looking at opening up the third lane,
which is here, the third lane is here. Jim Westerfield leading that third lane.
David Wellborn going back down to the... See, clears Rod Fosnaugh.
Yeah, Wellborn will not be able to block all 3 lanes. He's going to have to pick 1, maybe 2. And hope that last one doesn't get by him. As a lap truck is coming up, these guys are 3 wide with a lap truck. Lap truck gets on the apron, a great move there by the 28, Cody Barber.
You see the 87 truck take it all the way to the top. He might think that that line's moving a little bit. They're going to leave the middle lane in their dust. And all but one truck is going to clear Patrick Cowgill, the leader of the middle lane.
The 10 gets shuffled to the middle. Josh Mayu may pick him up. He may think of making it 4 wide. 4 wide it is, says Mayu.
Mayu's going to jump back in the line, and they're going to sort their 4 wide out before they get into turn 1.
It's getting dangerous, that's for sure. As Fosnaugh tucks in behind the 4, that's 3 Fosnaugh, King Cow Fosnaugh Motorsport drivers, second through 4th on that inside line, pushing David Wellborn Jr. lap truck, excuse me, in 3 and 4. These guys are gonna have to figure a way around him soon.
This top line is starting to fizzle out. We've only got 2 trucks left up. And once again, the bottom lane, David Wellborn Jr. leading it, starts to walk away. Brent Kincott jumping up.
Yep, Kincott in front of the 87, gonna try to make something happen on that high line. As the lap truck, he's still on the racing surface. He did not drop to the apron like we've seen others do. It'll be interesting to see what happens when these guys catch him. Looks like he's gonna stay in the high line down the back straight, give these guys the room they need. As Kincott gonna be able to clear David Wellborn Jr., drop down to the bottom line.
87 truck leading that top line again. He's going to be able to surge ahead, get to the outside of Brent Kincott. Try to make something happen.
At the line, it will be 4 laps to go. We do have 3 attempts at a green-white-checkered should a caution come out. Any one of these drivers inside the top 12 could win this.
On the bottom side, we see David Wellborn Jr. beating on the back bumper. Brent trying to keep that bottom line in the lead here.
Yeah, he's going to have to be careful. If he hits him in the wrong spot or middle corner, he could send him around. He's going to have to watch out how much exactly that he's bumping his tailgate. 3 to go.
They're doing a great job so far. Looks like Kincott's got the outside line cleared. Fosnaugh at the top now.
Yeah, he left his teammate Steven Sims to join that high line. I don't think teamwork is anything anymore with 3 to go.
Oh, Wellborn to the top now. Looking to get by it.
Steven Sims is with his teammate. That might have played more in the favor of Brent Kincott.
Wellborn Jr. back down to the bottom.
You see Wingfield in the 19. He's third in line on that high line. No one's going with him, but he's able to hang tough. At the line, it will be 2 to go. If they can make it one more time around the track and get the white flag, we will finish under green flag condition.
Looks like Wellborn got a little bit loose in the middle of the tri-oval there, under a push from the 4 truck. He's going to keep out about a car length from the 87 truck on top.
We have battle of teammates, the 4 and the 45, the 87 and the 35. They are teammates. And there's a wreck behind him. That's going to bring out a caution. And we're going to have a green-white checkered. Not quite sure who was involved in that. If you can spot a name.
Looks like the 27 truck, maybe. Cody Gatsky.
On board with the 27. He was a part of that single file group that had caught this lead pack. With the 19 3 wide behind him. Let's see what happened as they come off the corner.
Looks like Marvin Wingfield looked to push it 4 wide, and Cody Gatsky just got bumped in the corner a little. And got back into the side areas. Jackson to his left, and then
on board with the 19 as they are 3 wide throughs turn 1 and 2. Now 3 wide with Sidarius Jackson and Adam Breeden. Oh yeah, that little contact there between those 2 drivers.
Looks like they're not going to collect too many drivers here as they slid pretty well far off the track. Dakota Wilkins doing a great job of keeping that from spinning it in the middle of the racing surface, taking out several drivers.
Yeah, That little tap there by the 19 definitely got the 27 loose. He moved to the inside, able to collect it, but the 85 was there.
Oh, we have
Teammate.
David Wilborn Jr. spinning on the track. He was our leader at the time of caught.
Let's see what happened there.
Looks like he might have had a little equipment failure as he caught up to the pace car. And his truck just took a hard right into the wall.
We're going to
Might have
fast
locked up
forward
his
this
brakes.
a little bit. As pace car you see in front of him,
It's like into turn 3.
he's downshifting. Oh, yeah. Don't really know what happened. He might have downshifted to first and has spun out. Let's see if
Yeah, that's what it looks like happened. It looks like we were right on board with him. It looks like his tack. He just downshifted one too many gears and his wheels started hopping and he took it up. It's really unfortunate for David
on board
Wilborn
with
Jr.
the
who's
96
having a great
as we take a listen. Yeah, and that could have been a bad situation gone worse because he was right in front of those other drivers.
Luckily, he didn't collect anybody, but it's very unfortunate for him as he had a great race going on. He was in the lead at the time. He was going to have a pretty good shot at winning this thing, and now he just got some right front damage, probably some engine. He's got to manage here at the end of this race.
Taking a look, the 69 of Mitchell Briggs. Haven't really said much of him since the beginning of this race. He's currently scored as the race leader. He did not pit. He's on 26 lap tires. We'll see if that plays a factor or not on this restart. Alongside him will be the 87 of Anthony Titchener. Brent Kincott in the 4 will start third, and Steven Sims, his teammate, alongside him in fourth.
Yeah, we saw the 69 truck really, really strong at the start. So we'll see if he can do what he was doing earlier in this race, manage both lines, and see if he can get the win here.
Oh man, it's gonna be an exciting finish. Who do you think might walk out of here as the winner?
I think it looks really, really good for Mitchell Briggs. I think Brent Kincott's another guy that's going to be looking pretty good. He's going to restart second on the. But yeah, Briggs is probably going to pull this one out. He was doing a great job early in this race. We saw him working both lanes, doing a great job of managing everything and staying up front in both lines. So we'll see if he can pull that off for the last 2 laps of this race and pull off this win.
As we have the 2 to go signal from the pace truck, I'm gonna have to go with Brent Kincott. He's been stellar all night. He's been doing fantastic in the official races, and with his teammate Steven Sims alongside him, I think if those two can link up, even with God Fosner, maybe make it a 3-man tango, they might be able to scoot around the 87 and the 69 and pull away with a victory, if not maybe 1-2 or 1-2-3 finish.
Yeah, it looks like Brent Kincott's going to restart third, Steven Sims fourth, and Rod Fosnaugh sixth, right behind his teammate Steven. So maybe if Brent Kincott can jump to the outside in front of both of his teammates, they can make something happen.
Yeah, the one thing Brent will have to be careful of is not switching lanes before the start-finish line. If he's going to try to get up there with his teammates, he cannot switch his lanes until he crosses the start-finish line.
James, usually we think about Talladega, especially in these trucks, since they're so much slower than the other cars. We usually think of it as a bit of a wreck fest, but we still have 28 trucks on this, and most of them don't have significant damage. Although a couple of them might have been involved in a couple of those wrecks. They all look pretty decent speed to stay on this lead lap, and we still have a few cars a lap down that are on track, so still a pretty decent amount of trucks that are still running.
Yeah, this has been an absolutely fantastic race. These guys have put on 43 trucks making the start tonight. Only a handful of cautions. These guys have been phenomenal.
So you see the field double up. His truck lights turn off.
Mitchell Briggs electing the inside line. Now I know the Mitchell Briggs and Brent Kincott, they have history together, friendship history, and we'll see if these guys can work it out, and Brent might be able to help Mitchell get in front of the 87.
Another guy that we haven't really talked about all that much. He's kind of been hanging out in the top 10 for the last several laps, but he hasn't been too much of a factor at the front of this field, is Jim Westerfield. He's restarting, looks like third car on the bottom lane in that 35 truck. He's doing a great job. It looks like he's got a pretty clean, and maybe he can make something happen from 3 rows back in the
Well, it might be kind of cliche to say, but hold on to your seats because it's going to get wild.
Absolutely. As they come out of turn 4, pace car is going to pull off pretty soon. The field's going to be in the hands of Mitchell Briggs in the 69 truck for hopefully what is the last restart.
Yep, Mitchell Briggs, Anthony Thitchner, Brent Kincott, Steven Sims, Rod Fosner, Jim Westerfield round out the top 6. And green flag is back out for Mitchell Briggs. 87 has a bit of a gap between him and Steven Sims, as Brent Kincott's going to fill that line. The outside line might have that momentum to get around the 69 and come the backstretch.
And there you go, the teammates 2, 3, 4 on the top. Steven Sims going to push Brent Kincott.
I wonder if Kincott might take a 3 wide down the back. Not yet, as the field is so far so good. Halfway through this lap, if they make it to the line, they will finish under green, and we will not have another restart. As there goes the 4 and the 45.
Rod Fosnaugh behind them, trailing a little. Marvin Wingfield 4 wide.
Yeah,
on the top.
4 wide. They might. Will they make it to the start-finish line? The
Looks like he's gonna
35
take
to
better
the middle.
back.
Those are teammates in the middle line, the 35 and the 87. The 4 and the 45, 10 on the outside of teammates. The 69 is all alone with Scott Gaskell. As they wreck,
Oh, they're wrecking.
we're going to finish
He's
this
got
under
the white
green,
flag.
though.
So these guys are going to keep racing around to the. Jim Westerfield leading right now. The 87 truck behind him. David Wellborn Jr. behind the 80.
Oh, big break up there. This might be the chance for Brent Kincott.
David Wellborn's going to get stuck out on the outside. Brent Kincott looking for a spot.
Oh, contact with
Wellborn's
Sims.
going to wreck. And there's 3 of them left. Jim Westerfield looking to block every move.
Westerfield, Thitchner,
87's
Kincott.
gonna
Who's
stick
going
to
to
his
win?
Kincott looking at the outside, but he's not going to make it happen. Jim Westerfield taking the checker.
Jim Westerfield coming home with the win. Debuting Anthony Thitchner comes home second. Brent Kincott third. Let's see if we can take a look at that final lap.
That was catastrophic. We saw that kind of thing last night too, where we had a pretty good lead pack going on, and when they took the white flag, everything went down.
Let's take a look from the 31's point of view. Looks like right there, the 9 and the 10, when they hooked up, it forced the 10 low into the 31, and that's when it happened. And it was just a pile up from there. See if we
Jim
can...
Westfield, I said his name when we were getting ready to go green. He was just kind of hanging out in the top 10 in the latter half of the... And he wasn't making any big moves. He wasn't really making his presence known very much. He was there, and he was ready to pounce. And when something happened, just like that last lap, he was ready to go. And he got it done here.
So, crazy last lap finish. Let's see if we can get our interviews underway with our race winner, Jim Westerfield. Hey, Jim Westerfield, this is the broadcast booth. Do you have a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, that was a crazy finish, a green-white-checkered. You guys were able to make it maybe 200 feet past the start-finish line, and then chaos happened in your mirror. Walk us through it.
Yeah, I seen all that happening behind me, and it sucks that did happen. I'd rather have everybody come to the finish line with us, and luckily I had my teammate Anthony Dixner, his first race here with us, and behind me, and he pushed me to the front, and he stayed there right behind me. It was a perfect outcome there.
Yeah, it was not too bad of a race, pretty calm, only a handful of cautions. We saw you stay up towards the front for most of the race, and you come home with the victory, and you'll be able to lock yourself into the playoffs.
Woo! That's awesome, man. That's a great race in there. I love this league, and you guys do a great job broadcasting it, and I appreciate it very much.
Yeah, absolutely. A stellar turnout of 43 trucks. Ben, do you have any thing for Jim Westerfield?
Yeah, I just mentioned it on the broadcast. I saw you restarting fifth on that restart, and we were getting ready to go green. I noticed you, and I said on the broadcast, you've kind of been hanging out in the top 10 for most of the latter half of this race, and you weren't really making anything big happen, but you were there, and you were ready to go when something happened, and something happened, and you did a great job managing it and pulling off the win here, so good job.
I appreciate it. Yeah, I was up there being patient, scoping the drivers out, seeing how they ran, what line they like to run, just putting all that information in for that last 5 laps there, and it definitely worked out tonight.
Well, Jim, congrats on your win. Great victory here tonight. Do you have any shout-outs you'd like to give out?
Yeah, my teammates Anthony, Patrick Cowgill, our alliance, Josh Mayu, and Ronnie Servine, and everybody watching. Crystal, if you're watching, hope you enjoyed that. And always remember, don't shop to that.
Alrighty, Jim, congrats once again on your victory. Go out and celebrate tonight, and we look forward to seeing you at Dover.
I'll be there. Thank you, guys.
Let's see if we can pull in second place finisher and race and league debut, Anthony Thitchner. Hey, Anthony, this is the broadcast booth. You have a copy?
10-4.
Well, what can I say? One heck of a way to make a debut, coming home second behind your teammate Jim Westfield.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I told him I was going to get him his first win and do the best I could, so I'm just glad it turned out the way it did, man. I hate that there was nobody really in the mirror to fight it out. But I guess the Talladega.
Yeah, the race was pretty calm. Only one other big wreck, and the last one on the final lap took out the majority of the field, coming down to 3 of you at the start-finish line. Would you have gone with the 4 Brent Kincott if he made a move, or were you going to commit to Jim Westfield's bumper?
I was going to commit to Jim. I was doing the best I could to try to push him. I got turned out a little bit loose there on the outside, and things got hectic. But I told him, just let's get down, get down. We recovered really good, so just glad it worked out the way it did, man. I wouldn't have had it.
Yeah, that was a great run by you guys. Great job overall by Wolfpack Motorsports. Ben Zango, do you have anything for Anthony?
You know, we saw you up front pretty much all night, just keeping your truck clean, staying out of wrecks, and we see you with a little bit of rear end damage, but it's really not too bad. Obviously, it wasn't bad enough to keep you from finishing second here tonight, so good job just staying safe and running.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I mean, just finishing one of these things is a blessing itself. So appreciate it. Glad it.
Before we let you go, Anthony, do you have any shout-outs you'd like to give out?
Just to the teammates working there tonight. There's about 5 or 6 of us in the chat. Jim Westerfield, Wolfpack Motorsports, appreciate him and just getting me into this league. I look forward to some more races to come, and it seems like a good bunch of guys, so appreciate it. Can't wait to go back and watch the race. Thanks to you guys for broadcasting. Look forward to go back and watching this thing.
Alrighty, man. Glad to have you. Fantastic debut finish, and apologies ahead of time in case I butchered your name or two on the broadcast.
You're good, man. It happens.
Alrighty, man. Have a great night. Go out, celebrate that one too.
All right, buddy. Y'all have a good.
And lastly, let's see if we can pull in Brent Kincott for his interview. Hey Brent, this is the broadcast booth. You have a copy?
What's up, buddy?
Oh, nothing too much. Walk us through that final lap. That was one heck of a wreck in your mirror.
God, I wish we didn't have that caution. I'm gonna say that first of all, because if if we didn't have that caution, me and Sims were about to line up and take the lead. Yeah, that was craziness. Basically, Sims was staying with me, and he thought I was gonna go up past Wellborn, and they got together. So then I had no help, and I didn't know if the front 2 were teammates or not. So I was waiting to see if the 87 would make a move, and unfortunately he didn't. So I'm just like, there's no way I'm gonna get past both of them. So I just took the 3rd place. But hey, it's my first podium, so I'll take it.
Yeah, it was a heck of a drive by you, and I know you and I were talking about how well you've been doing in the official races, and I thought you might have had that same magic go on tonight. Unfortunately, Steven Sims ended up in that tangle off of turn number 3, and with those 2 locked up in front of you at 3rd place was just about all you could do out of it.
But hey, I'll take it from what my season's been so far, so I will take it. And hopefully you can bring us momentum to next week.
Yeah, that's right. Going to Dover next week. Any thoughts on that?
I gotta get some practice. I've done a couple truck races there. It's not one of my best ones yet, but hopefully I'll have some time to get some practice going, and we'll go from there.
Ben, do you have anything for Brent?
Yeah, we saw you running pretty well up front pretty much all night, and you and your teammates did a great job in the last restart, kind of keeping everything together. You guys were doing great before that. I saw you step out just before that last caution came out, and
we were about to make that move. We were going to make the move. Because the way that it's working with these trucks lately, because I've learned it from my officials, is the outside line rules. If you can get in the outside line, you can get clear by the guy in 4, and then you can take the win. But it just didn't work out.
Yeah, it's really too bad. I saw you having a great run tonight. So good job keeping everything well. And yeah, it's too bad they didn't get your way. But you still.
Oh, heck yeah.
Alrighty, Brent. Do you have any shout outs you'd like to give out?
My teammates, my co-owner Rod Fasnaugh, anyone who has supported me through this season and last season. Yeah, just I also want to shout out my internet for not crapping out this week, which is awesome. So yeah.
Alrighty, Brent.
And Steven Sims too.
Alright, Brent. Well, congrats on your top 3 finish. Glad to talk to you at the end of this one, and we look forward to seeing what you can do next week at Dover.
You got it, buddy.
Alright, have a good night.
All right.
Alrighty, well, my ATVO has completely froze up on me. I cannot bring up any graphics, so taking a look at our top 5 finishers, Jim Rushfield, Anthony Thitchner, Brent Kinkosh, Scott Griswold, and David Wright round out the top 5. My apologies, everybody. I cannot pull up any of those graphics. Next week, we will be at Dover for both the Grand National and the Truck Series, so be sure to tune in 9 p.m. Eastern Time on both Monday, May 4th, and Tuesday, May 5th. Have a great night, everybody.